What's going on, everybody? This is Chris Panda back with another episode of Panda's Podium, and today I want to talk about something that kind of hit me really hard for 2019, and that is Mortal Kombat 11. With Mortal Kombat 11, it is probably one of the biggest game launches for 2019, and it came out of left field. Essentially, it was revealed at the Game Awards for the end of 2018, and then they were launching the game subsequently within like the next 5 to 6 months, I believe. Nobody expected it. There was no hint of a new Mortal Kombat game. Ed Boon was dead silent, so people thought maybe they'll just hold off and wait till the next generation. But then it came left field. And from the trailer, everybody was shocked. And then they had a gameplay reveal, and people were like, whoa, it looks amazing. Like, graphically, everything looks so much better. With that reveal came a subtle hint of negativity towards the gameplay. There were lots of rumors going around that they were going to make it more like Street Fighter. There were going to be more jump-ins. There wasn't going to be long combos. There wasn't going to be anything that had become a NetherRealm / Mortal Kombat staple over the past 5 to 6 years. So, with Mortal Kombat 11's release, people were still excited to play it. The betas were pretty fun, but they were okay-ish at best. A lot of people were like, well, maybe the full game will be different. And then the game comes out, and then you get lots of feedback regarding several things. So we're going to take a look at it today. We're going to talk about what I thought about Mortal Kombat 11, as it was one of my anticipated games for 2019. And we're going to talk about how I really feel, because I know a lot of people have been saying the same thing, and it's been a topic of conversation, a part of the NetherRealm community as of late. My name's Chris Panda, and you're watching Panda's Podium. So Mortal Kombat 11 releases, and it's a fun game with a pretty interesting story mode dealing with time travel, and kind of giving us some familiar faces with some new faces as well. The graphics are improved, the online is pretty stellar, but there is a lot of controversy still marred in the game. Loot box systems was one of the biggest things. The crypt and the grind to unlock everything was extensively difficult. Lots of time wasted, lots of annoyances with towers and having to grind these towers just to get certain items, and a lot of them were like brutalities, entrances, outros, just so many subtle things that didn't really do anything but affect the overall experience. Nothing to hinder the gameplay, a lot of cosmetic stuff as well, but that's where a lot of people were very pissed as far as single player content goes. Once you beat the story mode, you only can either play offline or online in the versus setting, which is fine because it's a fighting game, but then there's people who are like, I just want to fight the computer and I want to make my character look cool. Injustice 2 kind of had the similar issue, but it wasn't as bad as this. You were grinding from tower to tower trying to get just a certain item just so you can go back in the crypt and get it. I remember grinding these towers, and overall I think I got everything in the crypt initially. There's probably more stuff that they added that I just haven't gone back to, and I got everything in the crypt, and it put I think like 50 to 60 hours in the gameplay alone just because of that. And it was really bad. I hated it. I didn't want to see Mortal Kombat 11 again. I remember playing it in a tournament that we kind of created within like the first 2 weeks or so, and it wasn't too bad. I was enjoying the game. Katana was really fun for me. Noob Saibot was really fun. Jade was pretty fun. Scorpion and Sub-Zero were really fun. And yet I still felt really empty. Mainly because this game just wasn't as fun to me. Now, this is just a personal opinion. I know a lot of people who really enjoy the gameplay style of Mortal Kombat 11, and I understand that maybe they like the slower pace. They like the fact that you don't have to have crazy combos that do 40-50% damage and you can't break out of it. But to me, that was really exciting, because with MKX and MK9, you were pretty much guaranteed how good you were with how much you could block in such a limited amount of time. With Mortal Kombat 11, it was more or less, okay, here's your combo, you're kind of going to rinse and repeat, and you're kind of going to bait this character out by making them guess the wrong thing. The meter changes were just weird, and it didn't affect it with them regenerating. Fatal Blow is still an annoying mechanic with hitboxes that make no sense. And the game just hasn't felt fun to me. And it didn't help that one of the characters for DLC that I really want to play, Spawn, doesn't come out until roughly about March of 2020. That's really bad to me. Not that it's bad that he's in the game, it's bad that the character that I want to play the most, after already disliking the game for such a long time, comes out so much later in the game's lifespan that I don't think I want to go back and play the game. I am even struggling just to record this footage, even though I'm pretty much doing it in an offline setting, because I just don't really have fun with this game. It has fun moments, but there's nothing compelling me to want to continue to play this game. With MK11, I was a little marred because there were a lot of characters that just weren't in it that I liked in MKX. Notably, one of them was Reptile. Reptile was my main character in MKX, and I had so much fun playing that character because he was so quick. He had a nice amount of damage, but a good amount of resets. Not as busted as his MK9 variation, but he was still super fun. I even play Reptile in Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. He's one of my favorite characters. And then that goes for people like myself who also miss a lot of characters. One of which was like Takeda. Was not in the game, but he was introduced as a new character that seemed very pivotal to the storyline. But yet they included people like Cassie Cage in the game. I understand Cassie Cage has a very pivotal role as she's the daughter of Sonya Blade and Johnny Cage. But then you also have Jackie Briggs, who is Jax's daughter. It just feels weird. It feels like it doesn't fit, you know? There's so many problems with like the story dynamic. And then the fact that they have this time mechanic built into the story makes you think you could probably add a bunch of characters just because you're going through this whole it's nothing but time travel gimmick. They're going to reset the timeline. Spoiler alert for those who have not beaten the game. They're basically resetting the timeline. And it's just kind of weird. Like, there's so many issues I have with characters not being there that I'd hope to be there. But then that's not even the biggest problem. With MKX, they added a variation system where it wasn't too much to, okay, this character's going to have this move and it makes him weaker. It makes it so, okay, this character has this variation and that's what makes them interesting, but this variation may do better against another character. That's a lot of strategy involved. This one, they have the same idea, but you can create variations, but when you're playing online in a tournament or in a tournament setting, you can't change your variations at all. You're just stuck. And some of the variations that they pre-made are pretty bad considering that they add so much. It'd be understandable if they said, here are the variations, all the moves are represented in the game, but they may be in a specific variation. They have moves that aren't even in variations that you can only put in custom variations that make the character fun and better. Baraka is a prime example. One of my favorite Mortal Kombat characters next to Reptile is Baraka. And in the betas, he was super fun. Come to find out in tournament, they get rid of his variation and make his damage not great, but still pretty good, and that hinders him as a result. So it's a weird decision. It's a weird decision to say the least. And the game just isn't fun. Like, I don't like the fact that there isn't crazy combo, there isn't this high risk, high reward sort of incentive. It just feels like Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter had this amalgamation of a child. And it's not a terrible game at all. It's just that it's not for me. And I feel like the incentive going around is that that's the way a lot of people feel. Especially in the NetherRealm community where people are about 6 months in, 7 months in, and they're like, we don't like this game. We like MKX, we like MK9. Some people are even saying Injustice 1 and 2. And I can kind of agree, like, Injustice 1 was really annoying in its competitive scene because of a lot of zoners, and the same thing can be said about Injustice 2. But if you're not playing that competitive scene, those games are extremely fun and entertaining. Mortal Kombat 10, or X, or however you want to say, was also the same way to me. Like, when I was playing a tournament, I had probably the least amount of fun with that game. It made me not want to play it anymore. But in an offline environment, playing with like people who are similar skill base and maybe just wanting to have fun, bullshit around, the game was really fun. And MK9 was MK9 was pretty flawless to me. Like, I think the game has a substantial amount of problems, but it's the same way when you play Marvel 3. The game has so many problems, but it's also extremely fun and rewarding as a result, because it's the high risk, high reward, but you feel like you're accomplishing something because of how stupid the game is. And that's my problem with MK11. I feel like it's not dumb enough, if that makes sense. They said we're getting rid of 50-50s, but some characters still have 50-50s. And you can tell, like, one sentiment that I kept hearing for a long time while playing MK11, or even trying to get into the competitive scene for it, was that there are MK11 characters who are playing MK11, and then there are MK11 characters who are just in it. And you can really feel that. Recently there was a patch that went out for Garrus, but man, Garrus was a problem. He was one of the characters that felt like he had every advantage in the world given to him. Cetrion was one of them. She was a high zoner, and she still is the zoner of the game. And you can feel it. Like, Aaron Black was really strong at one point, because once he got a knockdown, he would throw out acid, and it was the same Caltrop gimmick, except in a different state. It was really, really frustrating fighting some of these characters. I understand that that's not how it always is, but that's just how games work. And I feel like the problem is with NetherRealm, they listen to the community so much. When the community gets real vocal about something, they adhere to the community and not on what would make a good game design-wise. And that's what really hinders that game. And it's really frustrating. I really wish I could say more positive things about it. The story's good, the online's pretty solid, the graphics are phenomenal. The cosmetic stuff looks really cool for a good chunk of characters. There are characters who have the short end of the stick, Collector being one of them, a character I thought was going to be much more interesting than he actually appears, and they gave him the most boo-boo costumes in the game, and the color schemes are pretty boo-boo. It's like, he's not really... You're grinding to get stuff that really doesn't look all that interesting, but like Shao Kahn, his stuff looks freaking awesome. And of course the ninjas look pretty good as well. So it is what it is, and there are times that I feel like maybe I wasted money with MK11. I know I'll probably enjoy it later down the line, and I'll say, you know what, maybe it's not that bad. But I went back and played Injustice 2, and I had way more fun. I felt like just doing combos against the computer and grinding, I feel like I was having way more fun. Whenever I play MKX and I have to work to do something, it just feels off. The whole game feels off. It's not a bad game, but man, it's not for me. And I know that there are a lot of people who can say the same thing, and they wonder how NetherRealm can fix it. And honestly, I think they're too deep in the hole. And we're just going to have to anticipate whatever NetherRealm's next video game is, whether that's a new Mortal Kombat, Injustice 3, whatever the case may be, you know. It's just what we have to deal with. And you may play it, or you can go back and play MKX, Injustice 2, you know, Injustice 1, MK9. There are still tournaments, like side tournaments, being held for these games. They're not NetherRealm World Tour tournaments. But I've seen MKX tournaments as recently as like maybe within like the past month of recording this video. These games still hold a place in the community's hearts. It's just sometimes you just don't want to stick around and deal with what they're presenting. So it is what it is. If you like MKX 11, MK11, Justice 1 and Justice 2, MK9, take your pick. Have fun with it, make the most of it. Don't let anybody sway your opinion on that game. Just know that you are probably not alone if you feel like this is not the best experience you've had. And just enjoy your time. So, with that being said, what are your guys' opinions on MK11? Do you guys hate it? Do you like it? Is it your favorite Mortal Kombat? Is it your least favorite? Let us know in the comments below. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and hit the bell to be notified whenever we upload a new video, like Panda's Podium or the up-and-coming, but still in progress, apparently, How to Save series starring Foxy Steve. We're going to be working on that shortly, and we're going to have more videos coming down the timeline. Also, if you didn't already, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, all SFXX Play. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got. If you're still here, thank you. And you guys have a solid one, and we'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace.